Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 77 of the Dads and Ed podcast. My name is Josh Allen, one of your friendly co-hosts. Excited tonight. It's our first ever Thursday night show. We're hitting all the days of the week, mixing it up here and there, keeping you on your toes, making sure you don't get too satisfied or too stuck in a rut with your Monday and then Wednesday. So excited to be here. 4 wonderful kids, 1 beautiful wife. Joined tonight by
Me. I have.
So you're going to introduce yourself tonight, not me.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
My name is Claire. I'm a 6th grader. I have a wonderful dad, a mom, and a sister. I'm not very good at
pro tip, if you want better Christmas presents, you probably should have added a better adjective in front of I have a mom. Especially when you said I have a wonderful dad.
Wonderful dad and just a mom. So it's probably not good. Yeah, you have a wonderful mom.
I have a wonderful mom
as well. Yeah. My name is Devin Schoening. Claire is my daughter. Claire's 11. Gracie's 13. She's going to be on the show at some point as well. And my wonderful wife of 16 and a half years, Erin. I'm the instructional technology program lead in Council Bluffs Public Schools. Excited to be here, and I'm excited for Claire to join us. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. So we had planned a couple of times to have Kara Nolmeyer on, and tonight, because it's December and things happen, she's not feeling well. So we decided to go ahead. We're going to do a little bit shorter of a show, but we will definitely have her back on. We really want to chat with her about her upcoming book, Unleash Talent. Check her out at Kara Nolmeyer, KARAKNOLLMEYER.
Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I have to say, I'm a little worried about Kat right now.
Yeah, so
off the grid. We've lost him.
Yeah, so if you're a longtime listener to the show, you know that we have this little Voxer group, and if you know Voxer, you know that when you post a message in there, you see when other people in the group have read it. So Kat hasn't read our messages in the last couple hours. So we know he's out traveling. Mm-hmm. We know who he's with or who he was with based off social media pictures. We think those people are good.
We do.
But we're not sure. All kidding aside.
Yeah, maybe he's watching.
He probably is. We do have some viewers. So, Kat, check the Google Doc. There's a link in there. You can click it. If you're with Catlet and you guys want to get in touch with the show, feel free to tweet us at Dads and Ed. You can use the hashtag Dads and Ed anytime. That kind of thing. That thing blows up. It's a little bit spammy. I noticed today with a couple posts of apps that we do not necessarily like or dislike or have ever heard of before. So, but shout out to the actual human beings that use the hashtag Dads and Ed. If you missed part of the show, check it out. You can watch it on dadsanded.com. Or to make it super easy and automatically delivered to your favorite podcasting app, subscribe to Dads and Ed. I am back on the Apple podcast app. I used Overcast for a while. Had to reset my phone. Kind of went back to the podcast app because it doesn't sync. Like I don't have I run the web filter, but Overcast is blocked, and I just haven't gone in and unblocked it. So I just use the Apple one.
Yeah.
You can also check us out along with some other fantastic podcasts on the Education Podcast Network at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Yeah.
So one of the interesting things that's happening in the world of sports is college football coaches are getting fired. And the coaching carousel, I don't know if it's because of the number of the programs that have fired their coaches, or if you remember, there's now an early signing period that starts December 20th. So maybe schools are getting a jump on this. But the coaching carousel is spinning rapidly, ever changing, and it has been interesting to see the impact of social media on said coaching searches. On the one hand, you just have the rampant rumors. So and so saw so and so flying and having a meeting at Chick-fil-A in Dallas with so and so's coach, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have what happened at Tennessee, where Tennessee Vols were set to hire Greg Schiano, former Rutgers coach, former Buccaneers coach, Tampa Bay Buccaneers coach, and former assistant at Penn State.
Mm.
And fans, a small but extremely vocal group of them, excuse me, latched on to the hearsay reports that have never been verified and have all but been unconfirmed, that he knew about the Sandusky scandal that happened.
Right.
Anyway, long story short, because of all of the uproar, even after a memorandum of understanding was signed, that was negotiated out of. I don't really know who said or who pulled the plug on that, but Greg Schiano will not be the coach at Tennessee, nor will a long list of other people.
Yeah, you're right.
So, as this evolves, we talk a lot about the good with social media, but it's not always positive, is it?
No, and I think that's the thing you see with this, and you see it in politics also. But there is enormous when you think about social media with with situations just like this one, where the uproar became so, not that there haven't been issues before or times before where a fan base or a group of people have been very vocal about the hiring or firing of a coach, but it's so public with social media and the fact that anybody sees it. And now it's kind of, it's that mob mentality sometimes.
Yep.
Where you see people doing it, it's easy to jump in or jump on the pile when you see all kinds of people already doing it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think it is, hiding behind that computer and being able to, just say what you want, pile on. I think that's a great way to put it. For as much as we love social media, the other side of it has definitely put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth because of all the different ways it's been, for lack of a better term, mismanaged.
Yeah, well, and I think it just, it provides, and you kind of said it already, but it provides this opportunity to really demand and force change. And I suppose sometimes that's good and sometimes it's bad. But it does, as we've always said, and lots of people say, I mean, it is an amplification of whatever the message. So, good message, bad message, it becomes an amplification system for whatever that message is. And I just think you see it over and over again. And it's, unfortunately feels like at some point it's going to jump the shark a little bit, with how we deal with, not just things like college football coaches, but but actual politics. And you see the way that many politicians, including the president, tend to use Twitter and how that creates this, this whole mentality. And I think, boy, at some point, where does it never come back? Where do you get to a point of no return?
So, Superfan Bill checking in, asking if Shiano got paid, and I don't know. I think there's the president of the university didn't sign the memorandum of understanding. And so I think the legal battle is going to be, does that make it a legal document or not?
Yeah.
And if you're Greg Schiano, how much do you push that issue? Because you're obviously wanting to get back as a head coach.
Uh-huh.
So are you going to continue to push this AD knowing that other ADs are watching how you handle this situation? Right or wrong? I'm not saying that Tennessee should have let him go. But unfortunately now that scrutiny is going to be on Schiano as well.
Well, and see, and that's I guess the thing. Like, how does this impact two things. One, how Tennessee goes about hiring a coach now,
Right.
after this whole debacle has gone down. And secondly, how does it impact other schools when they're doing their hiring? So what's going to stop a fan base from doing this with any hire that you make, if there's even some small something in their past or something that this fan base doesn't like? What stops them from saying, oh, this worked at Tennessee, we'll just create this whole swarm of negative comments about it? And is it going to force everybody to rethink the way they hire and the way they make it public, or whatever that process has been? Seems like it really does change that, or have the potential to change that for, at least for the foreseeable future.
And I think I've seen that in other situations where people don't like the boss or people don't like someone else, and they, create a narrative that is maybe loosely based on truth or have some truth behind it to get that person removed. And then, like you said, other people say, oh, well, that worked there. Let's do it here.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it work here?
Yeah.
It should work here.
Right.
We're the
and
same.
I think that's why it's, I think, so important for us to think about the way that we, talk about social media with kids, the way that we model social media in schools. I know that, you and I were talking a little bit before the show started about some work you guys are doing with a social media intern and a student, and gosh, just how important it is for them to see appropriate and positive and purposeful social media use looks like, because like we were talking about, we kind of take it for granted now. I think we take for granted what that looks like and how to make it work. But where do students and kids see that? I think maybe that makes this even more important.
Yeah, we did just thanks to our partnership with Class Intercom. Check them out at classintercom.com or at Class Intercom on Twitter. They have a platform that allows us to have students create posts that then go to me or another designated adult if necessary. And then once we approve it, it goes out on our official social media accounts. And for me, we're just in week one. We've just started this, and we have a phenomenal high school senior that is taking this on. And we had our first meeting yesterday, and I was just honest. Like, I haven't done this before, an internship. I haven't, mentored an intern before. It's been some really good conversations for me about why we use social media and to get, someone else's perspective who uses social media. We've already had some really good conversations after a day or two, and I'm looking forward to some of those perspectives, talking about what we can do with it.
Yeah. Do you see, Claire, positive or negative social media use in your middle school?
Not not really. Like, I don't see, like, I see mostly positive.
Yeah, that's good. Which one do you use the most?
Which social media?
Yeah.
I use Instagram.
Instagram, is that what your friends use too?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. We have so many kids that, obviously are not always of age using some of these tools.
That's a parental issue.
Yeah, and sometimes under the guidance of parents, and sometimes not.
Right.
But I think that is really important. I remember having a conversation with some kids, middle school kids, a couple of years ago, where I made a little video. We were doing a thing with parents around social media use from their kids, and hearing them talk about the use of Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, or actually it wasn't even Snapchat. This was 2 or 3 years ago now. But it was interesting to hear them talk, because what I find from talking to kids about social media use is that most of them have a really clear understanding of what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. And what ends up happening is they're 12 and 13 and 14 and 15, and they make mistakes and they post things or say things that they just don't have probably the experiences or the understanding of making the appropriate decision. But gosh, if you know, when you see the way that social media is used beyond the way that we use it, probably professionally and personally, it really can't. You can see how you would get caught up in some bad habits.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting to watch social media and watch it grow and watch it move and ebb and flow. And I was talking as I sat down to talk to our new intern yesterday and talking about social media, I realized I have to go back and check. I might be pretty close to almost a decade with my Twitter account.
Yeah.
If not 9 years. I'm getting pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to think what it was like 10 years ago, and you watch the ebb and flow of the people that you follow, and it's interesting to still have the same people that I follow, since day one, and that early reflection. But I think this month, I have to look it up. I think this month marks 10 years for me on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible to see the way that goes, and I think you certainly have seen it. You've seen people coalesce around different social media tools for some really, really great positive experiences and to create positive change. So I don't want, as we talk about, and we talk about this Tennessee thing, we talk about the negative, that's there, but man, there's a lot of positive too. And I think that's the thing we have a hard time sometimes remembering when you see some of the garbage that happens out there. And this Tennessee thing probably is part of that, but man, there's a lot of good positive stuff that happens too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So moving on, dad moment of the week. So Claire informed us that she has a dad moment of the week that she is ready for. So ladies first tonight, since we don't have a guest that I need to work with. Claire, even though you're not a dad, what is your dad moment of the week?
My moment of the week is, so at my middle school, we have a door decorating contest. And it's just been fun to decorate my advisory's door.
Have you been working with other people in your class? And
yeah.
And so it's been kind of a fun non-schooly thing kind of do?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what your door looks like? Yeah. Is that top secret information?
I can tell, but so we have okay, so we have so there's our door, and we put brown paper on it, and our school is called Kern, and so we're gonna put welcome to our Kern Wonderland, and then outside right there we're gonna put a tree, but out of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then inside, so my advisory classroom is a science class, and so we have a long hallway, and so we're gonna decorate that hallway with a sleigh and
Nice. That's awesome. I'll give you a good door decorating story from me. When I was in high school, we had a door decorating contest as well, and we thought it would be really cool if we had a real Christmas tree. And so late one night, a friend of mine and I drove up out into the country somewhere, and we had a saw, and we cut down a Christmas tree in the dark, threw it in the truck. And the bad thing about doing that, and we were worried about getting arrested, and you're not supposed to just cut down trees anywhere you want. And when we dragged that thing into school the next day, it was all brown and dead. But we had a real live, well, it wasn't a real Christmas tree for our door decorating contest, and it was.
Was it the brown one?
It was not very pretty. No, it was not a good tree. But
did you guys win?
I don't think we did. We may have gotten points deducted for breaking the law.
Probably. Charlie Brown would have been impressed.
Would have. It was good. I mean, it was nobody else had a real tree, nor have I ever heard of anyone in the door decorating contest cutting down and bringing their own tree. So
I don't think anyone at Kern.
yeah, you probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, we probably should. Yeah.
My dad moment of the week is I am teaching Claire at this very moment that you should not. That's not yours, or that you haven't paid to cut down. So there's my dad week right there, on the spot.
Door decorating pro tip. That could be a new segment. Door decorating with Devin.
It could be
the Triple D.
It could. We did. It was awesome. There's. I've never seen another one like it.
Better or worse. Oh. So. Yeah, do you have another one that you'd like to share? Or you just want to roll with that one?
No, go for it. No, go for it. I can do another in a minute, but you go ahead.
So ours was turned out well, but in our town we have a Winter Wonderland festival that is just fantastic. 5,000-6,000 people, close down some streets, so it's a great event. And we were with another family friends who also have 4 kids, so. We are around with 8 kids, like, taking a ship through all of these sea of humanity, roasting s'mores and getting hot chocolate, all this stuff. We go up to do the lighting, and we realize that we are missing our 7-year-old daughter with all of these people around. And so there was a frantic few minutes. Our neighbors who were not necessarily with us, but we had seen them, and there's probably 5 or 6 of us looking for her, and thank God, as she learned at school that if you get lost, you just stay right where you're at. So she was standing in the middle of the street, where she could be because the streets are blocked off. Don't worry. And some friends of ours, who again we didn't even know were there, saw her, and actually they don't know Lane as well as they know our younger kids, but from social media, really, she knew who Lane was and went over and noticed she was crying and said, do you need some help? And so she called my wife and said, hey, she's got your daughter.
Nice.
And yeah, she made it up just in time to see the lights come on. And it's just one of those things that we're so grateful that they were in the right place at the right time. And we've had a conversation with our kids about how she did the right thing. We should know better. I was looking to see if she walked past where we were, and
right.
And so the funny part is our other kids had Santa hats on, and so our neighbors were looking for Santa hats. They weren't looking for our daughter that was wearing a bow. So yeah, it was at first you're like, yeah, it's fine, we'll find her, not a big deal, and like as the minutes tick by, it gets a little bit more nerve-wracking, and but all is well.
Well, that's the thing. It's scary for sure in the moment. We've had moments like that, but yeah, glad you found her.
Yeah. That was she did not leave our side the rest of the night. She was much more attentive, as were we. The funny part is, so then a little bit later, she had to go to the restroom, and so we walked in the library, and I waited out in the hallway for her, and we got back. We couldn't find my wife and the rest of the group. They weren't where they said they were going to be. And then Lane goes, "Oh no, not again. At least I'm with you." And I go, and I have the keys, so we're just fine.
That's right. We would. So I'll add that just a little bit, kind of like that. We didn't lose anybody, but we gained somebody for a dad moment of the week here for the last weekend. We 7 years ago or 8 years ago, we had a foreign exchange student for a year, and she just came back to visit this last weekend ago. And so she was with us for the weekend, and we had a Thanksgiving, and we went and picked out and cut down our Christmas tree, and it's just kind of fun to have her. Last time they saw her was 6 years ago. Yeah, you were in kindergarten when she was here last, so. So you may have lost a child for a short period of time. We gained one of our adopted kind of children, Francesca, back for a weekend, which was kind of nice. She's from Italy. She happened to be in San Francisco for some work she's doing for school, and came here to visit for a few days. So that was
Awesome.
kind of fun. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Sharing is caring. I want to point out, I'll put it on the Dads on Ed hashtag and the Dads on Ed account. Monday is the third or fourth annual, I think fourth annual 12 Days of Twitter, which is an event that myself and a large number of people, Mickey Mueller, Craig Badura, Ann Feldman, I'm trying to think, a couple other people from Bellevue, Jeanette Carlson, a number of people have Patty Wolf, Heather Callahan. Basically, we've come up with challenges for 12 days before Christmas, all having to do with getting to know Twitter better. So I encourage you to chime in. If you have someone who would like to grow in their use of Twitter, there's very few rules. We'll post an activity every day. The 4th through the 19th. We're not going to do weekends because there are weekends, and that is an opportunity for you to catch up. If you miss a day, you miss a day. You can either post it later or just skip it. But it's things like post a video of your classroom, favorite book that you're reading. So just getting people to share links, share images, just kind of something different, getting us all ready for the holidays. We've had worldwide participation in the last couple of years, and I was actually looking at the hashtag today, and there's a whole ton of people not from around here that are joining in. So it's a good time. I've got an email ready for our staff to go out tomorrow to introduce or to remind them. It's been fun to see the staff that have participated in that continue on and keep using their Twitter accounts. So if we'd love to have you join in if you're a new user or a seasoned user to show some examples, but check out 12 Days Twitter. It's actually the number 12 and then Days Twitter. So
yeah, no, I would second the 12 Days of Twitter. It's a really good thing to get people kind of acclimated to all the different things, the different ways you can connect and share and do a lot on Twitter. I would say that we've done something in our district that's been similar. We've typically done it in September. We didn't do it this year, but kind of taken that idea and tweaked it just a bit to do just within our district. And you're right, it's nice to see when people actually continue to use it and not just for the challenge, but very good one. Very, very good idea.
Yep.
What? No? Yeah.
Sorry.
Claire, anything you want to share?
Come on.
I'll cut that part out.
Hey, we're back.
You do have
never
you
good.
have a so in the third picture now that is up there, the frozen image, it looks like Claire said something that you don't necessarily agree with, and maybe are a little confused about where it came from. So
it might be true. Yeah. Never good when the screen just all of a sudden says, "Oh snap!" Not good at all. So I'll do a social media share as well, but it's just kind of a fun one. One of the things I like on Instagram, one of the accounts I follow, but it's a guy named Pete Souza, and he was President Obama's photographer during his time in the White House, and the great thing about his Twitter account, two things I love about his Twitter account. One, the pictures are amazing. So I don't care who the president was. I mean, it could have been any president's photographer. But the pictures that he shares are really, really great. And the other thing that's cool about the social media part is, and again, take the politics out of it. I don't care if this would have been someone who was a Republican doing it with a Democrat now, but he takes things and uses pictures that he's taken and things that they did during the Obama administration, and kind of uses them as like fodder for things that are happening in the current administration, and is kind of witty and kind of fun and very poignant with the posts that they share. He'll do things when Congress was trying to get the new healthcare through. When it was not working or not going well, he would post pictures of Obama on the phone, sealing up the Affordable Care Act, or him kind of celebrating with congressmen and women around that. So I just think it's a very cool thing. And he has there's a book that's out now that he did of many of the photographs that he took during his time with the Obamas. So just kind of a fun one. It's Pete Souza, Petesouza, and just kind of a fun, cool Instagram account to follow.
I would second that. I follow him as well, and it's a fantastic follow. And you're right, the quality of the pictures are very well done. So
yeah, it's fun. Good stuff.
Claire, anything you want to share? What's your favorite Instagram account to follow that you can tell your dad about?
On your public account, on your account.
On my public account.
You watch a lot of. So this is the thing I still struggle to figure out with kids of this age: the garbage.
Amen.
The YouTube channels and the Instagram accounts that are just like, I look at it, I'm like, nonsense, making slime and people just talking. Do you have any that you can think of off the top of your head that are ones that you follow as you're scrolling through? No? Huh. Mom just yelled Aaron Schoening, but
he's Schoening.
Hers isn't that interesting.
You guys are both getting rocks for Christmas. Man, good thing she doesn't listen to the podcast.
I know, if she did, we'd be in big trouble. So she says she sometimes listens.
Oh.
Great.
Probably on nights like tonight when you're whispering while she's nearby. That's when she starts listening to the podcast. Claire, what'd you find?
Aaron showed me.
Oh, you're showing your mom? So great.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I also have another one.
Do it quick. We're coming to the end here.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. You're off. This was your audition. Your audition. You're fired.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is we have come to the end of the evening. We appreciate all of you tuning in. We'll be back for our pre-Christmas show with Kristen Zimke, a fantastic author and teacher. Got some great stuff about literature, technology, and young kids. So that will be in roughly 2 weeks, probably a day short of 2 weeks. But until then, enjoy your holiday spirit, and see you in 2 weeks.
Yep.